Hi everybody, I'm Emily.
And I'm Michael, and we just wanted to get you a video out there to show you how we start planning on our meals for the week for our family of 3.
I recently completed 2 rounds of the 21-day fix, and this program really helped me to focus on clean eating, and it also taught me what proper proportions looked like on my plate and when I'm cooking. And since I was doing this program, it really helped me get focused and work on meal planning for our whole family for the week. And since I also do most of the cooking, it really helped me get organized so that I could, so that when it came time during my busy week, cooking was a lot easier because we planned for it. So one of the first things that I want to talk about when you're doing your meal planning, especially if you're just starting out getting clean eating and healthy eating, you're going to want to stock your kitchen. First of all, you need to get rid of all the junk. Go through your cabinets, go through your fridge, get rid of all that stuff that tempts you and that you know is bad for you. Just throw it in the trash. I know it's hard sometimes to waste stuff, but it's for your benefit, believe me. And then the next thing that you need to do when you start your grocery list is you need to think about some of the basics. So you can pause this video right now if you want to go through this exercise with us and go get a pen and paper to plan for yourself. I'm also going to post up our meal plans and our shopping list at the end so that you will have these documents in your hands as well. But we already stocked our kitchen with some of the basics, so you're going to need yours for yourself. So what I mean by the basics are the things mainly that you cook with. And those include things like extra virgin coconut oil or extra virgin olive oil. Also things like your seasonings. You know, as you experiment with recipes, you're gonna learn what kind of seasonings you like to use on your food, and that's anything from, you know, garlic salt to lemon pepper,
Mrs. Dash.
Mrs. Dash, Michael loves his Mrs. Dash. So any of the seasonings. Also some salad dressings. I typically stick to oil and vinegar for my salad dressings, but also maybe like an Italian that's oil based. And there are some other basics that you can buy up front in larger packages that you won't have to purchase every week. So your first grocery bill might be a little bit more than the rest of them, but things like brown rice and quinoa and other things that don't spoil during the week like your produce, you can buy and have stocked up, and then every week you've got some brown rice and some quinoa to throw in for your carbs. And there are other examples of that as well. And one more thing I want to talk to you about before we get to the actual meal planning part are other grocery items that you are going to have on your list that me and Michael don't really plan for. And those mostly include our breakfasts and our snacks. Most of the time we wake up early to work, and the first thing me and Michael usually drink is actually a shake. So we have our Shakeology there, but that's also, if you'd rather do a different breakfast food, Shakeology is a great snack. So when you're meal planning, especially if you're doing the 21-day fix, just decide what you like for snacks. Our family usually snacks on things like fruit or yogurt or nuts, and so whatever we feel like snacking on that week, I just add that to my grocery list. Again, you'll see it whenever I post my list in our documents. And then another thing that is kind of basics, it kind of goes along with snacks, but just breakfast in general, those are things that we don't necessarily plan our breakfast for every day of the week. Maybe you need to, but we know that typically we're going to have our shake, or we're going to have eggs and bacon, or we're going to have steel cut oats or yogurt or something like that. So
Now we get to the actual meal plan, and we normally usually start, you know, with the meat.
well, actually, we normally start with a written out list. So usually what I do is I start by just writing out Monday through Friday or Monday through Sunday if you're planning throughout the weekend. But we want to give an example of just your 5 weekdays. So we'll start out, we start out by writing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, lunch, and dinner.
And I also want to mention that normally, since I own a martial arts school here in Conway, I work later on into the evening, so our lunches are usually the largest meal of the day. And I haven't been doing the diet, but I'm telling you, she's been cooking it up, and it's been some good food.
And plenty of food. You know, he teaches all afternoon. He's been teaching this summer at the library as well, and he has had plenty of fuel to fuel his body with the foods that I've been eating as well. So just because you're on a diet doesn't mean that you're starving yourself. So Monday for lunch we have the baked chicken with squash and zucchini and quinoa. And then for dinner we're planning to have fish tacos, cod for our meat. We're going to have some avocado, some goat cheese, some sauteed peppers, onions, and garlic, and we will eat those on corn tortillas.
Which all that is allowed underneath your 21-day fix eating plan.
Yeah, would you like to tell them what we're doing for Tuesday and Wednesday?
Sure. On Tuesday at lunch, you know, got to start with the meat. We started with steak and asparagus, and then we have with sweet potatoes. And then for dinner, we're having leftovers. So we always kind of try to plan for our leftovers. We know that we aren't always going to be able to finish everything that we've cooked. And so on dinner, on a few days of this week, we always have a spot for leftovers. And on Wednesday, we're having, for lunch, pork chops with sauteed okra. Now, we're in the South, and so we enjoy our okra. But we have to like rethink what the traditional Southern stuff is. And instead of baking it all up, putting it all in this wonderful stuff, and then frying it, we usually just cut it and saute it, and then salt to taste. And then after the okra, we're going to have some lentils. And for dinner, we're going to step out on a little limb, and we're going to try something new, because that's what this is all about. You know, we're trying something new, trying to discover stuff that we didn't know about it ourselves. We're going to try sardines. I know that might sound weird, but we're going to try. We're going to have sardines with broccoli and some of that leftover quinoa again.
We're about to organically do this process that we go through for our meal planning. So we have not planned anything for this Thursday or Friday yet. So we're going to actually take you through what it looks like for us to step through it. And usually we do start with, for our meals, we start with the meat. So in our guide, we just turn to the page where it lists all the different kinds of meat. And then we just pick a meat, and then we go to the veggies. We pick a veggie, and we go to the carbs, and we pick a carb. And that's usually what we plan our meal around. And so basically for every meal, we're sticking to greens, reds, yellows. Purple is fruit, so that's more of like a snack option for us. Sometimes it's incorporated into a lunch or dinner. And these are kind of like our extras, so you call it. And one reason that we wanted to try sardines is because on each list in your book, it starts with the healthiest option. So the things at the top of the list are the absolute healthiest for you. That's why on the vegetables, kale is up there, because we all know kale is like a superfood. And then it goes down, and of course the things at the bottom are not unhealthy for you. They may just have a little bit less nutrition than the things at the top. So sardines is actually number one. It's supposed to be a really, really healthy meat. I've never tried them, never cooked them, so
we'll see.
We'll see what happens. We'll let you know later in the week what happens. Okay, so we're going to plan for Thursday and Friday. Thursday for lunch. What would you like for your meat, sweetheart?
How about we do some turkey burgers? Does turkey burgers sound good?
That's perfectly fine. So I'm going to write down ground turkey burgers. And with that, we'll probably have some bread. Sometimes I just eat the turkey burger, the protein by itself, and then have veggies on the side. But if you are going to use some carbs with that, then you can plan for some whole wheat bread or whole wheat buns. And then what kind of vegetable would you like with your turkey burger?
Let's see. Do some spinach. Do some spinach.
Actually, I might make those spinach and goat cheese turkey burgers again. So that would be spinach. We can have some spinach on the side, and then the goat cheese would be one of our blues for the day.
That sounds perfect. And goat cheese is pretty good. You know, you hear goat cheese, it's whoa. You know, it might sound kind of strange, but it is pretty doggone tasty.
Okay. What about for dinner if we have that, since we're already gonna have some spinach purchased for the week, we can have that shrimp spinach salad that I make.
Oh yeah. Now, that shrimp salad is pretty doggone good.
So for that salad, I have spinach and I saute some shrimp to go with it. And this is one of the ideas where I actually have fruit with one of our meals, because I make this spinach salad with sauteed shrimp, and then a lot of times I'll do blueberries and strawberries, chopped walnuts, maybe some chopped onions, some mushrooms, some avocado, some salad dressing to go on top. So you've got kind of a whole variety of your different food categories, and let me tell you, it's just delicious. But that's another one of those dinners that you can kind of play with and add the things that you like. So I put that on our list. And then what about for lunch on Friday, we can actually have healthy spaghetti.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Julian loves that good old spaghetti.
Yeah, he loves spaghetti, and how you can plan for a healthy spaghetti is you buy a very basic tomato sauce and then spice it up with your own seasonings, because the tomato sauce actually, again, counts as a fruit. It's not a vegetable. And then you got either your whole wheat noodles, or you can even do a spaghetti squash, and that could be one of your vegetables. We might try that this week, spaghetti squash instead of noodles. You can also do whole wheat noodles as your carb, and then of course your meat. You can do chicken spaghetti, you can do ground turkey, lean ground beef. So let's do it since we're having turkey burgers with ground beef.
Sounds perfect.
Spaghetti with ground beef, and I'm going to put some kale with that, so we can make some kale chips or some sauteed kale for some extra veggies.
Those kale chips are pretty doggone good.
Yeah. And then for Friday for dinner, I'd say let's just plan for leftovers, because between all that other food we're cooking for the week, I think we'll probably have some leftovers.
Sounds perfect to me.
The next step after we plan our meals is I make a list, and I actually break down into sections. I'll write my list and I'll put produce, and then I have my meats, and then I have cold and dairy, and then I'll have grocery items, which means items in the aisles, which you'll notice as you move along will only typically be 2 or 3 items. The majority of my stuff comes from my my produce and then meats. But anyway, so then I'll go back through, for example, I'll go back through the meal plan and I'll say, okay, we're having baked chicken. So put chicken breasts under my meat list. And then we're having squash and zucchini, right? Squash and zucchini under my produce list, and quinoa. Quinoa is in the grocery or the aisle part, so I put that under grocery. Same thing for lunch. We're having codfish tacos with avocado, goat cheese, peppers, onions, and garlic. Put the cod under my meat. Put the avocado, sauteed peppers, onions, and garlic under my produce. I put my goat cheese under my cold items and my tortillas under my grocery. And I just go through my list. And that way too, you can also see if you've planned for eating 2 of the same things in 1 week, like the quinoa or the spinach, then you can mark that. You can just write it and then put a tally by it. Oh, I need, 2 servings of this spinach, or I'm gonna need 2 packages of ground turkey. So it makes it pretty simple, and also by breaking it into categories makes the grocery store trip itself, especially if you have kids,
yes,
a lot more simple. So that is basically our process, and I know this video is kind of long, but I hope that it helps you all out, and just let us know if you have any questions.
See ya.
Bye.